Alwar Thirunagari, the ninth of Navdrupathy. The other old name for this place is Thirunagari. Again, among the Vigragha perihera stelas, that is, 9 planets perihera stelas, it's been identified for the planet Guru Bhagawan, which has been also called as Jupiter. It's situated on the southern bank of the river Thamirabarani, and between the national highway, from Thirunelveli to Thirunagari, at the distance of 30 kilometers. This place has been noted for the birthplace of Nammalwar, one of the 12 staunch devotees of Lord Vishnu, who have also been called as Alwars. As this had been the first place originated after the Deluge, it's been called as Athapuri. As the conch had circumambulated here, and had attained the moksha, that is immortality, it's been called as Kirkwar. As Nammalwar had resided here, it's been called as Alwar Thirunagari. As this has been the birthplace of the 3 prime disciples in Alwars, named as Nammalwar, Sri Ramanuyar alias Udavar, and the Manavala Mamuni, it's been also called as Mathura Yatiya, Divya Desam. Om is the Pranav mantra, which has been the sacred sound, first originated, at the time of the birth of all creatures, in the universe. In Tamil, the letter Om comprises the syllable of A, plus Vu, plus Ma, that is, Agram, plus Ugram, plus Magram. When we sound the 3-syllable, in one stretch, it will sound as Om. Here, when we compare the above syllables of Agram, Vagram, and Magram, with the names of the 3 Alwars who had taken birth in this place, Alwar Thirunagari, by their first letters of Alwar, Udavar, Manavala Mamuni, it would sound as or otherwise called as Om. So, this place has been called as Pranav mantra, Divya Desam. Temple structure. This temple has situated amidst the small town, Alwar Thirunagari, which faces east in direction. In front of the temple, there lies a big stone mantapam. Next to this mantapam, there cross the Mata Vidhi, that is, Temple Street. After this Mata Street, there comes the Raja Gopuram, that is the main tower, or the entrance of this temple. After having passed through this tower, we could able to see Kankanyan Kuradu, Kili Kuradu, altar, and the flagstaff, as in the lineup. Next to this flagstaff, there lies another tower, called as Middle Tower. Next to this Middle Tower, we come across the shrine of Alwar, the transcendental carrier of Lord Vishnu. After this, there lies the Savana Mantapam, Mahamantapam and the Artha Mantapam, one by one, in the lineup. After the Artha Mantapam, as usual in tradition, there lies the sanctum of this temple, in which the presiding deity, Lord Athanaden, is seen, in standing posture. The other names of this stela as this had been the first place in which Lord Vishnu had resided in the earth. It has been called as Atheshatram. After the deluge, once Lord Vishnu had released the earth from the custody of the demon Hiranyaksha from the deep sea by having incarnated as wild boar, which is well known as the Vigragha avatar. It might also be called as Viragashatram. This is the place in which Athesisan, the celestial five-headed snake, who has been the transcendental bed for Lord Vishnu, had incarnated as the Astala Vircham, that is, the temple tree, and hence, it's been termed as Seshashatram. Again, it's said to have been believed that Lord Vishnu himself had incarnated as Nammalwar, and had resided under the Astala Vircham, Uranga tree. As the river Thamirabarani and its associate, Thirunagari, had been the Tirthas, it's been called as Tirthashatram. Once a man belonged to lower caste, by birth, named as Thanthan, had attained moksha, that is, immortality, by the grace of this presiding deity, Athanaden. It's been called as Thanthasetram. Nathaswaram. One unique feature found in this temple has been the stone-sculptured Carnatic musical instrument called Nathaswaram. It's a rare and hardly find in anywhere. This had been donated by Krishnappa Naikar. Except this rare stone musical instrument, there have been some musical stone pillars in this temple, from which we could hear various musical sounds when we tapped on those stones by our hands. Kumbhar, and Alwar. Thirunagari Kumbhar was a great Tamil poet, who was the author of one of the great epics, Ramayana, in which the story of Lord Rama has been depicted, for the humans to know that how one could lead the human life in this world by having incarnated as a human being and had led a pure and meritorious life. While Kumbhar had got ready for introducing his great work to the world in the temple of Sri Rangam, which has been also called as Thiruvarangam, he had been interrupted by Lord Vishnu and asked him to sing in praise of Thirunagari, which is also one of the other names of Nammalwar. At once, Kumbhar had sung in praise of Nammalwar and the purpose of his birth, in his book work called as Thirunagari and Pathi. Once, Indra, the celestial king of Deluge, had been affected by the curse of the great sage called as Kaspar. He cursed Indra that he would have lost all his wealth and health, and hence, Indra had lost his charming youth and looked like an old man. Later, he had been advised that if he could visit the place called Alwar Thirunagari and could worship the presiding deity attained, he would have definitely got his charming youth again. As per the advice given to him, Lord Indra visited Alwar Thirunagari and had been under a sincere penance towards the Lord attained. Having pleased by the sincere penance by Indra, Lord Vishnu, as in the form of Lord attained, had appeared before him and had gently touched his whole body with his hand. What a surprise that magical touch made Indra to retrieve from his curse, and he had got his charming youth again. In Alwar Thirunagari, the Astala Vircham, or the temple tree, has been called as Vigragha Puli, a tamarind tree. This tree has been identified as the incarnation of Lakshmana, who had been the brother of Lord Rama. In Ramayana, Lakshmana had been depicted as the best example for the brotherhood, which could be shown as the example to mankind. When Lord Rama had been directed to leave to the forest for 14 years by the conspiracy of his stepmother Kaikeyi and her servant maid Mathura, Lakshmana also accompanied Rama and his consort Sita to the forest. There he maintained his whole life as the bodyguard of his brother Rama. He never closed his eyes, even at night, for the safeguard of his brother Rama. He is said to have been the incarnation of Athisisan, the five-headed snake, and also the transcendental bed of Lord Vishnu in the Milky Ocean, which is said to have been the abode of Lord Vishnu. Here the Astala Viracha, the temple tree, has been the tamarind tree, which is called as Vigragha Puli. Vigragha Puli means, in Tamil language, the tamarind tree that never sleeps at all. Normally, all trees in the earth have the symptom of closing its leaves at night as they are in sleep. But here, in the Vigragha Puli tree, the leaves are always open, never gets closed ever. As the tree is said to have been the incarnation of Lakshmana, it never sleeps. Or else, so to say, that never close its leaves, as if Lakshmana had been in the forest life with Lord Rama, in safeguarding his brother Lord Rama. This tree has been, as usual, like other tamarind trees, with flowers and all, except the yield of tamarind fruits. This sacred tamarind tree has been over 1,000 years of age, and on the walls nearby it is having the traditional portraits of Lord Vishnu's 36 Divya Desams, on which Nammalwar had sung hymns in praise of Lord Vishnu. Mathura Kavi Alwar, one of the staunch devotees of Lord Vishnu, had requested Nammalwar to give his idol of Nammalwar for the devotees who would come in the near future. Having reacted to this, Nammalwar, in his last days, had told Mathura Kavi Alwar that he could fetch the water from the river Thamirabarani and could overheat the water again and again, by which, from that water-borne copper, he could have attained the idol of his thirumeni. Actually, in Tamil language, Tamiram means copper. As this river is fully enriched with copper, it's been called as Thamirabarani. As per the direction of Nammalwar, Mathura Kavi Alwar had fetched the water from the river Thamirabarani in a golden vessel, and with the help of the Vedic professionals, he had overheated the water for more than 7 days, and at last, there emerged one beautiful Vigragha, that is, the idol, found in the posture of both hands joined together, as the symbol of humble salute, with a sacred stick, leaned on his shoulder. But this idol wasn't the idol of Nammalwar. That idol, Nammalwar told Mathura Kavi Alwar, that belonged to Sri Ramanuyar, also called as Abode, who would have been the cause of the flourishment of Vaishnavam in Tamil Nadu in the coming future. Having agreed to this statement, again, Mathura Kavi Alwar prayed for the grace of Nammalwar, so as to get his Vigragha. Finally, by having done the same water treatment, the idol of Nammalwar had obtained. Today also, we could able to see that idol in the sanctum of Nammalwar, accompanied with the big one, which is said to be obtained as unsculptured idol, without having touched by any chisel of the sculptor.